A large aircraft descends through a layer of high autumn cloud as it makes its approach toward Tokyo. The wings cut steadily against the wind, and as it aligns with the runway, the engines lower in pitch, gliding into a controlled landing. The arrival is not just logistical, it is symbolic. The President of the United States, Donald Trump, is arriving in Japan, the second stop on a 6-day tour across Asia, one shaped by questions of security, diplomacy, alliances, and the shifting balance of power in the region. The visit comes at a moment where global alignments are under pressure and governments across Asia are re-evaluating their strategic bearings in the Indo-Pacific. The aircraft slows as it touches down on the runway at Tokyo's Haneda Airport. The door opens, stairs are positioned, and the president steps into the open air. The cameras capture him raising a clenched fist briefly before continuing down the steps to the waiting motorcade. His presence here signals more than ceremonial protocol. It is part of a diplomatic itinerary designed to reinforce partnerships and test whether old alliances still hold their weight in a rapidly changing geopolitical climate. The schedule for the day includes a formal meeting with Japan's Emperor Naruhito. In Japan, the role of the emperor is deeply symbolic, rooted in centuries of tradition and national identity. Such a meeting underscores respect, continuity, and the history of US-Japan relations since the post-war era. Yet the political centerpiece of this visit lies in the meeting planned for the following day, where the US president will sit down with Japan's new Prime Minister, Trump-Takaichi. Takaichi's appointment is itself historic. She is the first woman to lead a Japanese government, a milestone in a political landscape long dominated by male leadership. Her rise to office followed months of internal debate about Japan's economic direction, constitutional self-defense posture, and its role in regional security. In her first statements as Prime Minister, she emphasized that maintaining close and stable relations with the United States would be among her highest priorities. For her, the US-Japan alliance is not only a diplomatic tradition, it is a strategic necessity in an Indo-Pacific region experiencing renewed military buildup and competing claims of influence. The city moves around these events with its usual quiet efficiency. Tokyo's skyline stands at a distance, precise and ordered, a mix of steel, glass, and long avenues filled with controlled traffic. Yet beneath the routine, there is the awareness that this visit carries implications stretching well beyond Japan's borders. For years, discussions regarding North Korea's nuclear program, territorial disputes in the South China Sea, and US-China trade tensions have defined the region's strategic anxiety. This visit provides a moment where leaders may try to shape, predict, or at least steady those unfolding dynamics. As evening sets in, preparations are in motion for the formal audience with Emperor Naruhito. Such meetings follow precise protocol, reflecting dignity and respect. The significance is not in the statements exchanged, but in the gestures themselves, symbols of continuity, cooperation, and the longevity of the US-Japan partnership. In recent decades, this alliance has extended beyond defense and economics. It has become a foundational pillar of regional stability, particularly at a time when multiple regional powers are testing their influence. The following day, attention shifts to the scheduled talks with Prime Minister Takaichi. The questions before them are substantial. Japan is reassessing its defense posture, expanding the capacity of its self-defense forces, and strengthening security ties with partners across the region. The United States, meanwhile, is navigating shifting diplomatic strategies across Asia while managing relations with both allies and strategic competitors. Takaichi has already made clear that deepening cooperation with the United States remains central to Japan's long-term security planning. The president's itinerary continues, and on Wednesday, he is scheduled to travel onward to South Korea. There is a visible anticipation surrounding this leg of the trip. During conversations aboard Air Force One, the president made a remark that immediately drew global attention. He said, "I would like to meet with him if he wants to. I got along well with Kim Jong Un. I liked him, he liked me. If he wants a meeting, I will be in South Korea." The statement was casual in tone, but carried profound diplomatic implications. In recent years, dialogue between the United States and North Korea has experienced cycles of escalation and opening, tension and apparent breakthrough. The possibility of another meeting, particularly one arranged spontaneously, signals that diplomacy here is not confined to scripted schedules. It is fluid, sensitive, and deeply personal in the relationships between leaders. Such gestures can shift the direction of negotiations or shape the tone of future talks. In the background of this potential meeting lies a broader regional tension. North Korea's missile tests have continued, expanding both range and delivery capability. Its nuclear program remains a point of international concern. Neighboring states, including Japan and South Korea, monitor these developments closely, aware that each test alters the strategic equation. China and Russia also hold vested interests in how these negotiations unfold, as both maintain relationships with Pyongyang and influence regional stability. Any renewed dialogue between the United States and North Korea inevitably extends beyond the interests of two nations. It affects the entire Indo-Pacific political landscape. During the South Korea visit, the president is also expected to meet with Chinese President Xi Jinping. This meeting holds substantial significance. The United States and China have spent years navigating trade disputes, tariffs, accusations regarding technology transfer, and competition for global economic influence. Diplomatic dialogue has at times appeared strained, but the two largest economies remain deeply interconnected. The president expressed hope regarding this conversation, indicating an expectation that progress may be possible in reducing trade tensions and resolving tariff disagreements. As the tour continues, the backdrop shifts from the diplomatic venues of Tokyo to the coastal and inland landscapes of South Korea. Preparations for international meetings are matched by visible displays of security readiness. Patrol vessels and coordinated exercises serve as reminders that diplomacy in the region does not occur in isolation. Every discussion regarding trade, security, or regional stability is informed by the awareness that unresolved disputes persist and military postures remain active. Throughout the trip, the theme of alliance building remains consistent. Each meeting, press statement, and formal interaction reinforces a network of relationships that underpin the strategic framework of the region. The United States maintains long-standing partnerships with Japan and South Korea, relationships shaped not only by shared values, but also by mutual security obligations and economic ties. These alliances help provide balance in a region where multiple powers compete for influence. From Japan's perspective, the alliance with the United States remains essential to its national security. With constitutional constraints on its military capabilities, Japan has historically relied on the US security umbrella. Yet under recent governments, Japan has taken steps to expand its defense capacity, modernize equipment, and participate more actively in regional security dialogues. Prime Minister Takaichi's government appears poised to continue and possibly deepen this trajectory. South Korea similarly holds a complex set of considerations. Its proximity to North Korea creates a constant awareness of security risk and diplomatic urgency. Relations between the Koreas fluctuate, alternating between cautious dialogue and heightened alert. The presence of US forces in South Korea symbolizes both reassurance and responsibility. Any discussion involving North Korean leadership carries consequences for South Korean policy, stability, and public sentiment. Meanwhile, China's role continues to grow across economic, military, and diplomatic dimensions. Its presence is visible in trade, infrastructure financing, maritime territorial claims, and international influence. Discussions between the United States and China shape global markets, technology competition, and strategic alignments. The meeting between the US and Chinese presidents during this trip is therefore seen not only as bilateral engagement, but as part of a broader negotiation over the future balance of power in the region. The potential of a meeting with Kim Jong Un, though not yet confirmed, adds a degree of unpredictability to the tour. Such a meeting would require careful diplomatic preparation and strategic communication. Even the suggestion of openness to dialogue can shift expectations, provoke reactions, and influence decision-making among regional leaders. Previous summits between the US and North Korea were met with cautious optimism, concern, and debate about the path toward denuclearization and long-term stability. As the trip progresses, each day's schedule unfolds in measured steps. Formal exchanges with Japanese officials highlight areas of cooperation in regional security, economic partnership, and technological innovation. Discussions with South Korean leaders focus on shared responsibilities in addressing North Korean developments and strengthening deterrence measures. Dialogue with China centers on trade, tariffs, and the broader strategic relationship that shapes global economic conditions. Across these meetings, the tone remains rooted in diplomacy, negotiation, and the careful calibration of political messaging. The stakes are high. Every statement, handshake, or shared photograph is observed closely by governments, analysts, and publics across the region. The world watches, aware that decisions made through these dialogues may influence international stability for years to come. The journey from Tokyo to Seoul and potentially onward reflects a continuity of strategic objectives. It reinforces the US presence in Asia, supports alliances, and positions diplomatic engagement as a central tool in addressing regional challenges. Yet it also highlights the complexity of maintaining balance in a region marked by long-standing tensions, emerging ambitions, and shifting relationships. As the President continues on this tour, the resonance of each meeting will unfold gradually. The outcomes may not be immediate or definitive. Diplomacy often advances in increments. Yet the willingness to engage, the reaffirmation of partnerships, and the visibility of dialogue itself contribute to shaping a regional environment where negotiation remains possible. In this context, the visit to Japan is more than a stop on a diplomatic itinerary. It is part of an ongoing conversation about the future of the Indo-Pacific, one where alliances are sustained, dialogue remains open, and leaders navigate the challenges of security, economic competition, and diplomatic trust. The images of arrival, formal ceremony, discussion, and departure may appear routine, but they reflect a strategic continuity that underlies the region's stability. The aircraft that touched down in Tokyo symbolizes not just a journey across distance, but an ongoing responsibility shared among nations. This visit underscores the importance of diplomacy, the value of cooperation, and the persistence required to manage complex relationships in a changing world. It is part of a broader effort to maintain balance, build trust, and pursue solutions to long-standing challenges affecting the region and the global community.